Sweet. Hello, can you hear me at the back over there? Can you hear me in the front over here? Can you hear me on the left side? Right side? Okay. Got it.
Good morning, everybody. My name's Ashem Vohu. Thank you for joining us. Happy 4th of July, everybody. We'll do the USA chant later, Kairos. Please join me in welcoming Mobed Fariborz Shahzadi to talk about the Zoroastrian religion.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good morning again, If you can rise, let's say one Yatha Ahu Vaeryu, one Ashem Vohu, please. I'd appreciate it. If you want to raise your hands, or you can cover your head, both are good enough. I'll wear my hat. And I'll explain to you why I recite Yatha Ahu Vaeryu first and Ashem Vohu afterwards. And it's up to you in the future if you ever want to recite these. Yatha Ahu Vaeryu. Yatha Ahu Vaeryu atharato shashachid hachao. Vangehosh dasda manangush shautanana mangehosh mazdai. Hashatrim cha aurae o yim derigu biudadadvastarem. Hashem Vohu vahishtem asti ushta asti ushtamai yadashai vahishtai Hashem. Thank you very much. Please have a seat. And important thing, I won't accept any questions during the session. If you want to ask me any question, I'm available to you outside the doors when the session is over and when I have my 30 minutes. I'm not a research scholar. I'm not a Zoroastrian scholar. I'm just a lay person, a Mobed, that over the last 45 years has gained new insights into the religion, and I keep on getting new insight into the religion. So if you learn something different, that's okay. I'll just add to that. But, there might be a little difference, in what I say. And I'm going to talk to you just basic things that I would teach an 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old. So when I see you, I'll be talking down. Don't worry about that. That's part of my presentation. I won't go into what I'm going to talk about. I'll go into... No, what happened, this is where I had a problem. I grew up in a little town where my mom used to teach me to say the Yatha Ahu Vaeryu, to say the Ashem Vohu. Got Navjodit at the age of 6 years old. I didn't know what the Sedreh meant. I didn't know what the Koshti meant. I didn't know what prayers I was reciting. I was just reciting it blindly. So my object in the next few years is at least teach you 20 things that you might appreciate from our rituals. And it's very important. Okay, so the religious symbols that we have, Sedreh, Koshti, the Fra-Vahar, over the years, I would bet, if I ask a lot of you, you will not know why there is certain things on the Sedreh, why there are certain things on the Koshti, why there are certain things on the Fra-Vahar, and you don't have the answers probably. So my job is to teach you that. Because what happens is the Sedreh, Koshti, Fra-Vahar prayers, Thanksgiving, Halloween, Christmas. I asked my grandson, and Neil here, I might point to him once in a while. I said, okay, so you celebrate Easter. Yeah. What do you do for Easter? Oh, we go around the house and find eggs. Okay, why the eggs? What's the meaning of Easter? I don't know, Babu. Okay, so I want you to know the basics of why we do it, okay? So let's go to the first. Anybody want to raise your hand and say, what is the most important word in Zoroastrian religion? Anybody want to raise your hands and say it out? Yes. Nope. Anybody? Asha. He hit the nail on the head. The most important word for us in Zoroastrian religion is Asha. Asha has a lot of meaning. It comes in the Ashem Vohu prayer. It can be perceived in 3 stages, and I'll point it on the Sedreh. But the most important, starts with an A, ends with an A. The first letter of the alphabet, Asha. And I'll go into it. Please read this. I won't go into it. I won't recite. I don't like to recite my slides. Just read it. And I'll go into it when I... Now, Asha can be perceived at 3 stages. If you just think about it, everything in this existence is physical and is perfect, unless we mess it up. Everything is perfect. The trees grow, the animals come, you get your milk, everything is done. It's all perfect. To me, Asha is the physical order of everything that God made perfectly, or whoever that energy made perfectly. Now, if you take the physical level in Zoroastrian religion and apply it to yourself, psychologically you're following the law of Asha. Now, if you take the physical and add the psychological, you reach the highest level of spirituality, which is reaching Asha at the highest level. So, this is the explanation. You can read it very fast, and we can go to the next slide. I know, I've been to so many talks where they read the slide, the speaker is out there reading. I don't want to read it. You read it. Having read that, let's go to the next one. Okay, so I'm going to pick on somebody in the audience. I can walk on stage. I won't walk too far because it's being streamed. Is it okay if I pick on a few people? Just in case, I'm sure. Anybody in the audience want to stand up and recite the Ashem Vohu prayer, please? Any volunteers? No? No, you don't know your Ashem Vohu? Okay, you do it, sir. Go ahead. And let's listen to him, find out. Thank you, sir. Perfectly. Beautiful. All the 12 words were there. Now, I want to ask you a quick question. You said that prayer, okay? What was the first word of the Ashem Vohu prayer? Hey, you got it right. Give him a big hand. Hey. I'm also going to give him a little prize, Here. Yeah. Yeah. Now, listen, what is the last word of the same prayer? Did you know that? Did you really know that the Ashem Vohu prayer, the first word is the same as the last prayer? So I don't call it one prayer, a long prayer. No. The Ashem Vohu prayer starts with Ashem, and it's a circular prayer of 12 words going back to Ashem. How many verses are there in the Ashem Vohu prayer? Anybody? How many? Those are 12 words. How many verses? See, many of this, I didn't know when my mom, when we were in Nasik in 6, 7 years old after my Navjot, Mama would say, okay, before sleeping, you have to say the Ashem Vohu Atteberry Prayer. So we used to say, Ashem Vohu Veshtamasti Ushtasti Ushtamaya Rishaya Veshtai Hashem. Mom, can we go and sleep? No, you have to say Yatha. Okay, time to go to sleep. Nobody ever told us that. The Ashem Vohu, maybe my mom didn't even know. The Ashem Vohu prayer is not one long prayer. It is a prayer that has 3 distinct verses. And let's go over them. Ashem Vohu Vahishtam Asti. Stop. Ushta Asti, or somebody says Ushta, that's correct, nothing wrong with that. Ushta Asti, 2 words. Ushta Ama Yatha Ahu Vaeryu, 6 words. So the Ashem Vohu prayer has 12 words, 3 verses starting with Hashem and ending in Hashem. And this is the central theme of our religion, the Ashem Vohu prayer. I want you to know it. Because it reminds you of one thing, Asha, which is righteousness, which is perfection, which is what the world or the earth was created with. Going to the next one. So what is the meaning of the first verse? Very, very fastly read the first verse, the second verse, and the third verse. Can you see, my friend? Very easy. It's a prayer reminding to you to follow the path of Asha. And I bet you, a lot of people say the Ashem Vohu prayer, but don't know what it leads or what it means. Let's go to the next one. Okay, I'm going to pick another volunteer. Anybody in the audience want to say the Yatha Ahu Vaeryu prayer? Anybody stand up and say it? Go ahead, Mobed. I love you. Thank you very much. Perfect. She said it perfect. All 20. How many words in the Yatha Ahu Vaeryu prayer? Anybody? 21 words in the Yatha Ahu Vaeryu prayer. How many verses in the Yatha Ahu Vaeryu prayer? 3. Everything is 3 or 7 in our religion, unfortunately. So if you hit a 3 or a 7, you got it right, usually. 21 words with 3 verses and 3 verses. The first verse is very... Now, the Yatha Ahu Vaeryu prayer is just as important as the Ashem Vohu prayer, and it is the foundation, again, of our religion. And this prayer has been around for a long time, and it is an autonomous prayer, and it's maintained as thing. But let's go to the first verse. Yatha Ahu Vaeryu, Ata Ratush, Ashat Chit Hacha. There's a mistake in the first verse. Ashat Chit were 2 separate words. Unfortunately, I made a mistake and it's there. But the first line or the first verse of the Yatha Ahu Vaeryu prayer has 8 words. Yatha Ahu Vaeryu, Ata Ratush, Ashat Chit Hacha. The second verse has 6 words in it. Vangehosh, Dasda, Manang, Ku, Shautinanam, Engehosh Mazdai. So Manangu should be 1 word. Again, there's a mistake. I should change the slide next time I choose it. I didn't know that for a long time. I was saying it wrong, but now I can correct it because one of the Mubeds corrected me. So the first verse has Ashat Chit separately, and Manangu is 1 word. And the last verse, Khashat Remcha Auraya Yimderigu Biudadatwastarim, are 7 words. So Yatha Ahu Vaeryu is not 1 long prayer. It is 3 verses, and she said it right. You pause at Hacha, you pause at Mazdai, and you end at Vastaran. So let's read the meaning of it. I want you to read the last one a little more correctly. Therefore, a person must be a judge for himself and herself and select the path of Asha and is responsible for all actions thereof. This is a very important part of the first verse of the Yatha Ahu Vaeryu, because it reminds you, your parents are not responsible for you. Your grandparents are not responsible for your actions. You yourself are responsible for all your actions and everything you do. Let's go to the second verse. Now, the second verse is very important with 1 word that I'd like to point out to you. Who wears the Sedreh and Koshti in this group? Raise your hands. Oh, a lot of people wear Sedreh Koshti. So good. Then I'll be spending time with you. And when you say your Sedreh Koshti prayer, the lights are a little bright, so when you say the Sedreh Koshti prayer, when do you tie the first knot on the first Yatha Ahu Vaeryu? With what word? Shautinanam. So this is something else. Why do we say, why do we tie the first knot? Why not at some other word? When we say and tie the first knot of the Koshti with the word Shautinanam, that means I will achieve, I will abide by, I will follow. And that is important for you. So remember, when we do it, Know why Shotananam is an important prayer in Yatha Ahu Vaeryu, the first Yatha Ahu Vaeryu when you tie the Koshti. When you tie the Koshti or the Koshti, the second time in the same knot, we say the same Yatha Ahu Vaeryu. Yatha Ahu Vaeryu Atha Ratu Shashachit Hacha Vengehosh Dazda Manangu Shotananam. We tie the same knot and complete it. This is a knot of promise. This is a knot of achievement, saying that I will abide by the philosophy or the meaning of the second verse of the Yatha Ahu Vaeryu. The San Jose Dharamir has been, Sacramento Dharamir, the San Jose Dharamir, the California Zoroastrian Center Dharamir, even the ZAC, and a lot of Dharamirs throughout the United States and the world are always sponsored by people who give charity, who say, okay, here's $100,000. The Hong Kong Association and Macau Association sends $100,000, $200,000. It all comes from the third verse of the Yatha Ahu Vaeryu. Kashatremcha auraya a yim deregu biu dadat vastarem. 21 words, 7 words in the last this thing. Whoever helps the needy shall receive powers of heaven and earth from Avram as the God. And the idea behind donating money or offering charity, I'm coming here, I don't take any charge. Did I charge you anything, my John? Did I even send you an expense report saying I traveled 60 miles? No. Thank you so much, I love it. And I hope you don't charge me for that. So that charity is based on that principle. Me coming for you, preparing this few minutes of work, is for a charity that I'm going to give you, hoping that I'll get the powers of heaven and earth. That's the Yatha Ahu Vaeryu. Let's go to the next slide. Oh, just to make sure everybody's paying attention. What is it? Is this a young woman or an old man? Are you with me at this session? Are you with me? It's both, okay? It's just both. Okay, let's go to the, I'm going to ask, I like to make it, I like to ask, anybody want to say, what are our Zoroastrian scriptures? The Muslims have the Quran, Christians have the Bible, Jews have the Torah. What do Zoroastrians have? Anybody want to come out and say it? What do we have? What are our scriptures? Wrong. Okay, it's part of it. Korde Avasta is correct. But it's part of it. Anybody else? Part of it. Anybody else? Zend Avasta, no, that's a language. Anybody? Huh? Vandida, no, it's part of it. Anyway, what is our main scripture, the main body of the scriptures? It's very important that you know it, teach your children, learn for yourself. I didn't know that for the longest time. The main scriptures are not the Vandidat, are not the Khorde Avasta. Khorde Avasta are daily prayers, are not the Vispared, are not anything else? Gathas? No. Our main prayers are called Yasna. Our main prayers are the scriptures, and everything else is derived from the Yasnas. And I'll go over it very fast. So, if somebody asks you that question, Yasnas are the main, it's not the only one, but the main part of our scriptures. So let's go into Yasna. Very important for you to know, Yasnas have 72 chapters. And of those 72 chapters, 17 chapters belong to the words and the poems and the teachings of our prophet Ashu Zarathustra. And I'll show you how they're located. So there are 17 chapters in the Yasnas, which are our main scriptures, where the Gathas are intertwined. And so if somebody asks me in the Yasna Mobed, where is our Gathas, which we are supposed to be treating as our main teachings in life? Okay, let's look at them. Okay, oh, this is very interesting for you. I didn't know this. For years and years and years and years and years, till the 1800s, we didn't know where the Gathas were. Honestly, you are so lucky that now you have the Gathas separated. You're so lucky. But in the 1800s or before that, they used to say the Yasna, they used to say the Visperet, they used to say the Vendidats, till some dude, a gentleman, Martin Hogue, he came out and he separated the Gathas. And how come he separated it? Because the Gathas are so unique and different and so perfect. Absolutely perfect verses. So they said, something is right over here. Let me separate these from the Yasnas. And he did. But later on in the 1900s, there was a person, Wilson, who cleaned out the Gathas in the present form today. And if you have a few minutes, if I don't get the blackboard, we'll go into a few of the things that you know. Okay, so the Yasna prayers have 72 chapters. Very important. And when we come to Fra-Vahar, I'll show you, where 72 come in. When we come to the Koshti, if we have time, I'll show you where 72 comes in handy. Chapters 1 of the Yasna prayers all the way to 27 are regular prayers and explanations of the prayers. Starting chapter 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, and 34. These 7 chapters is the first Gatha, Aunavaiti Gatha, Aunavat Gatha. Then the second Gatha comes in between at chapter 43, 44, 45, 46. 4 chapters in the Ushtavaiti Gatha, Ushtavaiti Gatha. The third Gatha, 47, 48, 49, 50, the chapters of the Yasna prayers. That is the the third Gatha. The fourth Gatha is only 1 chapter, 51. And the fifth Gatha is chapter 53 in the Yasna prayers. 53 is very unique for me. I'm a Mobed. I perform 10, 12 marriages, gavas a year on average. Some years there are more, some years there are less. And once a year, twice a year, they ask me to pray the sections of the 53 Gathas. The 53rd Gatha is very interesting because this is where Ashu Zarathustra has a prayer which he uses to perform the wedding ceremony of his daughter. So to me, chapter 53 is a very important one. I want you to know it. Interesting for you. I didn't know all of this. I learned it. I'm sharing this with you. So this is one of the things that you need to know about a religion. Okay, so let me go back. You said the Yatha Ahu Vaeryu prayer, and my friend always said the Ashem Vohu prayer. Where do you find the Yatha Ahu Vaeryu and Ashem Vohu prayer? Any guesses? Sir? Chapter 20. You read it, I know. But, okay. The reason when I told you to stand at the beginning of my session, and I said, let's start with the Yatha Ahu Vaeryu prayer first, and then the Ashem Vohu prayer, and one each, is because of the Gathas and the prelude to the Gathas. So let's go over it. The prelude to the Gathas, before the Gathas start, chapter 27, verse 13, is the Yatha Ahu Vaeryu prayer. Very interesting. If you look at Yasna prayers, it'll be there. Chapter 27, verse 14, is the Ashem Vohu prayer. So that's why I pray the Yatha Ahu Vaeryu prayer first, the Ashem Vohu. I won't go into Yangyahatam, but for women in this group, any women in this group? One day I'll teach you, or you can meet me in the lobby. I'll tell you about Yangyahatam. I don't have time. But this is a beautiful prayer where you are reminded that a woman is mentioned in this prayer, in the Yangyahatam prayer. Once 27:15 ends, chapter 28 starts, which is the Gatha, which is the first Gatha. I hope I'm giving you good information. I hope you're getting something. Let's continue on. Okay. There are some people in this group that wear the Sedreh physically. There are some people in the group that wear the Sedreh mentally. There are some people in the group that don't wear the Sedreh physically or mentally. To me, I want you to know the Sedreh. Very interesting for you. What is the meaning of the word Sedreh? The Sedreh is the garment of the good mind. Asha Zarathustra taught us to be Vohumana. Think good thoughts first. And this is a reminder. This is a reminder to think good thoughts. Okay, so let's go over the Sedreh. Anybody have a Sedreh on you? Just touch it. Don't bring it out. Just touch it. Okay, first of all, very important for you, this Sedreh is made out of one fold of cloth. There's no stitching at the top. It's made out of one fold of cloth. What that means to you and reminds you in this Sedreh and when you wear it is we all are cut from the same cloth. That means we should respect everybody, regardless of their religion, culture, skin tone, everything. We should respect everybody. Anybody that's good, you have to respect them. This is what Sedreh teaches us. In your mind or when you're physically wearing it. Number two, I bet you, does anybody know that there's a stitching on the left-hand side of your Sedreh or the right-hand side of your Sedreh? Did you know that? Have you ever seen this stitching? Have you? Anybody? Raise your hands if I can see you. Okay, sir, you at the back. Can I ask you what this stitching, the straight stitch on the Sedreh is all about? Okay, then let me teach you fast. There are two stitches on the bottom of the Sedreh, and all Sedrehs that are legal, kosher, should have these two stitches. It's a short stitch. It's a reminder when you touch it that, hey, I'm not perfect. Just because I'm a mubed, or just because I'm a beautiful-looking girl, or a good-looking guy, or a tall guy, 6'9", handsome, doesn't mean I'm perfect. But this reminds you to be perfect, to strive for being perfect, to go in the direction of perfection, this stitch. And all Sedrehs should have it. Now, on the other side, there's a triangle. Does that remind you of anything? Remember, a few minutes back we talked? This is the triangle of Asha, where you should perceive Asha physically, psychologically, and if you do that, you can perceive Asha, or righteousness, or truthfulness, or the right thing to do in your life spiritually. It's all in the Sedreh, guys. It's all there. I didn't know that. But it's there. Okay. The Sedreh is made out of white, of course. White reminding you of purity. It's a symbol of purity. It's made out of cotton, not wool. It's made out of cotton. Cotton is a representative of the plant kingdom. The plant kingdom is one of the creations of God, as we believe in, and that God to us is Ahura Mazda. So it represents one of the beings or one of the creations of God, which is the plant kingdom. There are 3 pockets. Now, most of us don't need these pockets anymore, but in the old days, probably as a reminder. We have good reminders on a cell phone. It's called, what is it called? Reminder. It's called, what is it called? What is that app? Reminders. Notes. In the old days, they didn't have these beautiful machines. Thanks to somebody I know in this audience who hooked me on. I had a Palm Pilot for the longest time, and I loved it to death. But I had to change my mind, and now I have Gatha. Okay, that's another story. There are 2 pockets on the Sedreh. The pocket at the back and the pocket in the front. Think of it as little lists or reminders or notes you make. So before you sleep at night, okay, take a little note, a mental note, a physical note, or touch your Sedreh and say, hey, tomorrow I'm going to be a better person than I am today or I was yesterday or the day before. At the end of the day, when you remind yourself of this pocket where you're going to keep that little note, a mental note, next evening, just before you sleep, check off. Did I do this? Did I think good thoughts? Did I say good words? Did I do good deeds? And if you did, check them off and put it in the pocket in front. That's Sedreh and significance. One other significance that I feel is very interesting is the Sedreh has 3 sides to it. The rear side, the front side, and you, the present. So with the Sedreh, think of what you did and what did you learn from yesterday. Live the right life or the righteous life today, and tomorrow be a better person. So these are the 3 sides of the Sedreh. I don't think I need to show you slides, but I can quickly go over the slides. Aha. You guys, what do you think it is? If you're thinking anything else than a book, shame on you. Naughty, naughty. Okay, let's go to the Koshti. No, very famous. The Koshti or Koshti, it's called the girdle. This is again a reminder to make you live the good life, which is the life of Asha. What is our scriptures? Which is the main part of the scriptures? Do you remember that, anybody? Again, wrong. Yasna. Very easy to remember. Yes, no. Yes, no. Yasna. Okay. So there are these sweet people in Yaz in the olden days and now still in India. They weave these Koshtis, which are now so expensive for you. They weave this. Guess what they start out with? 72 strands of wool. Not 71, not 73, not 24, not 12, not 11. They start with 72 strands of wool, and they start weaving this Koshti. Why 72? To remind you of the 72 chapters of our Yasna prayers, which incorporate the Gathas in 17 chapters. When they start intertwining this 72 strands of wool, now why wool? Why not cotton? Why not anything else? Easy. Wool comes from sheep, which is a creation of Ahura Mazda, which is the animal kingdom. So when we wear this, we thank Ahura Mazda, or God, to give us the animal kingdom, without which, gosh, I'm a steak eater. I'd miss my steaks, without the animal kingdom. So I thank Koshti when I wear. I thank you for giving me the steaks every few months, or few days, or few weeks. Okay, 72 strands of this thing. Now, I wear it around me 3 times. Remember, you guys? 1, 2, and 3. Very easy to remember the 3 principles. We teach our children, we teach ourselves, our parents taught us. You go anywhere in a Zarathustra monument, they have it. It says, good thoughts, good words in that sequence, and good deeds or good actions. So when you try to, we say good thoughts, humata, huchta, and havreshta. Now, when we take the Koshti, and we say, I told you about Shot and Anam. It's a Yatha Ahu Vaeryu prayer. We say the Yatha Ahu Vaeryu prayer on Shot and Anam. We do the first knot. We do the second knot. When we go to the back, we say a prayer. It's called the Ashem Vohu prayer. Again, reminding you of the Ashem Vohu prayer, which is very simple. The Ashem Vohu prayer something reminds you of God has given you one secret to happiness. And what is that? Being truthful to yourself and to others. And if you achieve the level of truthfulness, Asha, you'll get happiness in your life. However, Ashem Vohu says, don't do it because my mom, sometimes my mom used to make me do things. And say, okay, If you do this, you will. No, Ashem Vohu doesn't call that. Ashem Vohu says, do it for the right reasons. You don't have to be paid for it. You'll get the rewards when you follow the path of Asha. Okay, Ashem Vohu, continuing. We try it around. Now, there are 6 tassels at the end, which I bet you a lot of people don't know. How many tassels on each end? Anybody? 3 on each end. There are 3 tassels on each end. Together, they make 6. How are we doing time-wise? You doing okay? Okay. So, there are 6 tassels. Now, in the olden days, I didn't know this, honestly. I didn't know. I learned it from one of the Mobeds. In Iran, not in India, but in Iran, for Nowruz, which was the first festival of the year, the seasonal festival, you'd get a new Koshti in the olden days. So the Koshti itself represents New Year's, Nowruz. And then, Jews go to the synagogue every Saturday. Muslims pray 5 times a day. On Friday, they have to go to the masjid. Christians go to Sunday school, and Sunday prayers. How about Zartushtis? What is the requirement of Zartushtis for prayers? Or going to Darimir? What is the requirement? Anybody? None. Hey, not none. Koshti reminds you of those 7 times. Nowruz, and there are 6 tassels at each end, representing the 6 seasonal festivals of the Gahambars. And if you go to CZC, if you go to Zak, if you go to any Zoroastrian Darimir, these are the Nowruz and 6 times, Navroj and 6 times are the 6 Gambars when most people collect together. So the 6 Gambars. Now in the olden days, one Mobed told me, which I learned from him, they used to give a new Koshti for Nowruz, and then every Gahambar you attend, you to put a knot on it, on the end, on the 3 tassels on each end, reminding you, hey, I attended the first Gambar, second knot doesn't have a knot. Oh, shucks, I missed the second Gambar. Third one, I want to make sure I attend. 4th one, 5th one, and 6th one. So these are the 6 tassels at each end. Okay, one last thing on this is very unusual, but let's. How many words in the Ashem Vohu prayer? 12, right? How many Gambars do you have? 6. If you multiply 12 by 6, what do you get? How many strands in the Ashem Vohu, in the Koshti? Oh, we all mathematicians. Okay. So this is the Koshti prayer. The Koshti. Oh, sorry. Since we are being streamed live worldwide, I'm going to put this on so people understand. Talk to you about Chiyot and Anam. Oh, let's go to the next symbol. Let me ask you right off the, who is not wearing a Fra-Vahar in this group? Okay, who's wearing a Fra-Vahar? I hope you know the meanings of the Fra-Vahars. People always, if you wear it, people ask you, what is the answer you give? Easiest answer is my guardian angel. That's the best way, instead of explaining the whole thing. Unless they are really interested in this case, you'll explain to him about the Fra-Vahar. Fra-Vahar is a very, now a lot of people say Farohar. It's okay to say that, but the correct avastha pronunciation of this symbol is Fra means forward. Fra means forward. Vahar is a force that pushes you forward in your life. Fra-Vahar is a force that takes you to the next level, to makes you a better person, to makes you a more righteous person. Fra-Vahar is a force that pulls you towards Asha. Oh, let me look at you guys again, since the light is shining right in my face. Now you see the wings over here, these wings. How many feathers are in these wings? Anybody want to make a guess? Why? Why 72? Reminding you of the 72 chapters of our Yasna prayers, our main prayers that are in the Yasnas, 70 chapters. Okay, now I've been to congresses where people actually have fist fights on where the face of the Fra-Vahar should point. Believe me, so the Fra-Vahar is just a symbol, guys. It's just a symbol. It doesn't matter if it faces to the left or face to the right. But they said, no, if it faces to the left, it's facing towards wherever country, wherever. If it faces right, it faces whichever country. Doesn't matter. It's a symbol reminding you to be a better Zarathustra. That's it. Okay, please, don't get hung up on where the face should point. So if they have it facing, so if you're in Australia or New Zealand, what are you going to do? Point it downwards? So the direction or the face of the Fra-Vahar, but believe me, I've been at congresses where actually there's a fist fight, and I say, no, it has to be this side, no, it has to be, oh, no, another thing I've heard, the Indian Parsis, they have it facing the left side or right side, and the Iranians face it the right side. No, we don't have such stipulations. If they do, it has nothing to do with the symbol that is the Fra-Vahar. And that's Mobed Fariborz's opinion only, please. It's my opinion only, please. So let's go through the different parts of the Fra-Vahar. See, I say it correct. And please don't call it Asho Farohar. Asho, there's only one person that reached that level of spirituality, psychologically and physically, and that person is Asho Zarathustra. So don't call it the Asho Fra-Vahar, it's just a symbol. You can call it Asho Fra-Vahar, I have no problem with it, but there was only one title, and that's reserved for one person out there, and that's Asho Zarathustra. But if you call it and mean that, okay, it's a Fra-Vahar symbol that leads you towards Ashui, which is righteousness, I'll accept it. But if you give the title, like I'm Mobed Fariborz, not Asho Farohar. It's Fra-Vahar. And it leads you to Asha. So let's go over the different parts of it. It's a symbol, that's it. It's not a person, it's not a human being, it's not a, like my grandson is a, Babu, this looks like an old man and a bird. What is this? So it's a symbol reminding you, and you are Aura Mazda's creation to progress. Okay? Pulling or carrying force is very important. Let's go to the next one. Okay, let's go. Wings. Remember the wings? Oh, I don't want to. Let's go. You see these 3 wings over here? 3 levels, 1, 2, 3, in flight, reminding you to be away from bad thoughts, bad words, and bad deeds. Taking you away from that and taking you towards Asha, which is righteousness. Okay. The ring in the hand. It teaches us. I don't have time to tell you a story, but if you come out, I'll tell you a story. I was in Iran working for a pharmaceutical company, and I'll tell you the story later on. Long story. But once you keep a promise, you better make sure you keep it. Once you make a promise, make sure you keep it. That's a ring of promise. It's a ring of promise to be a better Zarathustra. It's a ring of promise to make a commitment. Got it? The picture is of an old guy. I don't know why some people complain and girls come to me and say, how come there's not a woman? Women can be wise too. I don't know. You can put a woman's face in front. I have no problem with that. So far as it designates, that's a wise person, because wisdom will take you towards righteousness. There's a ring in the middle of there are a lot of meanings to it. Some people give meaning that soul, the soul that we have, that leaves your body on the fourth morning when somebody dies according to ritual, is eternal. Or there are other meanings. So let's go through it. To me, that's not as important. To me, the other two tassels at the bottom are very important. We have the good mind, which takes us to doing the right things. The good mind principle is in the two tassels on each end. But I have a problem with these two tassels unless it's just a symbol. But the size and the equalness of the two are objectionable to me, but that's just Mobed Fariborz. One tassel on one side stands for good, the good you do, sepenta armeti, this good you do, or spenta menu, which some people say spenta menu. The other one balances it out, I don't think so, is angra menu, which is evil, bad thoughts, bad words, bad deeds. I don't think these two forces are equal. However, it reminds us 15 minutes. Cut, almost there. Perfect. Reminds us to stay away from evil and be good. Okay, so let's go over Fra-Vahar. I taught you that. Talked about that. Talk to you about this. Okay, now we go into our everybody's favorite subject. Anybody want to say what these numbers are? Any guesses? Say again, your bank account. Your bank account, you start out with, in Vegas, you go to the table, you start out with 6,000. After a few hours, after a few minutes, it goes down to 1,300. After a few minutes, it goes down to 238, 17, and 5. And then you leave home in your car without gasoline. No. Anybody? Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Not timeline. No, it's not a timeline. It's very simple. Okay, the Gathas. Everybody talks about Gathas. I love it. I've written a book on Gathas. I can send you a copy of it. It's free of charge if you want. All you have to do is tell me, or I can give a copy of it to Arzan, and he can send you a copy of the Gathas. But you got Gathas are all over. You can just sing. Now, very important. You didn't know that. I didn't know that. The Gathas have only 6,000 words. Gathas have only 6,000 words. That's it. These words are in 1,300 verses. Lines, not verses, lines. In 238 verses, which boils down to 17 chapters. And how many Gathas do we have? 5. So this is the sequence. 6,000 words, 1,300 lines, 238 verses, boiled down to 7. So all of this poor man, 3,800 some odd years back, this guy was promoting Asha, or whatever he was promoting, the good religion, what we have handed down today. He might have had more, I don't know, but what came down to us in the Yasnas are only 6,000 words with 1,300 lines, 238 verses, 17 chapters, and 5 Gathas. That's it. That's all you get. So, the Gathas. Got it? Now, I feel that Martin Hogue and those guys, Wilson, they could separate the Gathas from the Yasnas because they're so perfect. They're so perfect. The rhythm is perfect. The syllables are just lined up so perfectly that they were different than what the other prayers or other Mobeds were adding in the Yasna prayers. And they stood out. And that's why I think that's my guess, because they are perfect in the Gathas. So I told you where the Gathas are in the Yasna prayers. 7 chapters, starting 28 to 34. Chapter 27, the last 3 verses of chapter 77 is Yatha Ahu Vaeryu, Ashem Vohu. In that sequence, when you say it. I say all 3. I say Yangi Atam too, but it's too long, and people want to eat dinner. Whenever I go for dinner or lunch, I make them pray Yatha Ahu Vaeryu, Ashem Vohu at least. Okay? I've told you where the chapters are. Now, I've told you this again. I'm doing it for the camera. Does anybody know what the meaning of the Ahunavaiti Gatha, Oshtavaiti Gatha, Sepantamaiti Gatha? Oh, yeah, perfect. Oh, more than enough. Those 5, what is the meaning? Have you ever thought there is a meaning attached to that name? Let's learn it, or let's at least read it. Ahunavaiti Gatha means divine will or essence. Teaches you in that self-sacrifice and a gift to God. Ushtavaiti, Spentamendi. I bet you don't know that. How many people really knew this? The meaning of the 5 Gathas? Anybody? See, you're learning so much new things. Now, if you remember everything I teach you honestly, if you remember everything I teach you in this small, short session, you will have more information than I guarantee you than 95% of Zoroastrians in the whole world, including Mobeds all over the world. Honestly. 90%, 91%, 95%. Believe me, this is what my quest in my life is to re-educate everybody I meet, 1 person, 10 people, 20 people, 100 people, 500 people, teach them the basics of the Zoroastrian religion. Let's go to them. So, the first Gatha has 100 verses and 7 chapters. Second has 66. Third has 41. Fourth has 22 verses only. And the 5th Gatha is 9 verses only. Now, I want you to remember the first 4 Gathas are composed for Ashozartos, for you guys and me. The 5th Gatha, or the last Gatha, has 2 major themes. Number 1, there is a verse in there, or 3 verses, 2 or 3 verses, which he used as a blessing for his daughter's wedding. And after teaching all these Gathas to the people during his times and till today, shows his success in the faith that he was teaching. This is the Gathas. In other words, the 5th idea. There are 5 ideas in the Gathas which I have figured out from teachings of people around me and learned people. 5? Not yet. Okay, I'll be done by then. Okay. There are a few themes in the Gathas which are consistent if you read them. Number 1, the principle of Asha, which I've been talking all morning for the last 51 minutes. The gift of good mind. These are all concepts in the Gathas presented by Asha Zarathustra. The 3rd idea is right-mindedness. 4th one is Rosh, conscience. Believe me, you do something wrong and you realize you've done something wrong, it hurts here. You cannot sleep the night, it hurts here. It may stay with you for a long time. Srush, make sure you hear from within so you don't do the wrong thing. The 5th idea, and this is very unique to Zoroastrian religion, is the idea of happiness. Is the idea of happiness. It says in Ashem Vohu, Ushta Asti, it is happiness. Ushta Asti, the 2nd verse, 2 words, it is happiness. So that idea is very important. In other words, the Gathas, a lot of people think Gathas is super duper complicated compilation of things. No, If you break it down, if I have to tell my grandson, who's 7 and almost 8 years old, next month is his birthday, he comes to me and says, Bob, what is this Gathas? What is the meaning behind the Gathas? I'll just tell him 2 words. Gathas teach you to choose between what? Good and wrong. So really, that's it. So if you want to boil down 17 chapters, 6,000 words to 2 words only, it's your choice, and it's a choice that you're given to choose between good and not good. If you can do that, that's awesome. That's Gathas. Are you guys still in the lecture? Everybody's going, ooh. Okay. Now, there is an SOS mantra which you recite, those who pray recites. I want to teach you this very simple mantra. Mantra, something that you ask in avastha, something that you ask, oh, perfect, we are done. Awesome, awesome. So, if you can raise your hand, don't have to stand up, don't have to cover your heads. Sometimes and many times, you have a problem. You have an exam. You need a help from our Mazda, from God. And you can easily ask him in English, oh, Ramazda, please help me, right? That you'll understand. But I want to teach you something avastha, very simple. 3 times, if you want to say it is, Jasa me avange Mazda. This is a prayer that everybody's taught when they're Navjotit, Sedreh Pushid, or your parents teach you this thing. Very simple. Jasa me avange Mazda. To me, that's the SOS, Save Our Souls mantra, which is Jasa me avange Mazda, meaning, O our Mazda, come to my help. I'm a worshiper of Mazda, the religion that teaches me good thoughts, good words, and good deeds. Jasa me avange Mazda. Very simple prayer, just say it. And if you believe in mantras, if you don't believe in it, listen to Apple, iPod, or something. Listen to some music. But this is a good way to know. Okay. I don't want to go into attributes of human beings. Very, very quickly, this is a topic that I don't have time to discuss, but it's very interesting. Human beings have been given 11 attributes. Self-made, you make a drone, you make a Roomba, you get attributes in it. These are the 11 attributes. You've been given this. Having been given this, you automatically should have good thoughts, good words, and good deeds. Okay, everybody knows, and we have 3 more minutes left, the 3 minutes, 3 divine principles. I don't stop there. You know the 3 divine principles. Good thoughts, good words, good deeds. Now, Mobed Fariborz only, please. Mobed Fariborz only him. I've taken it one step further. What we think, we become. So ask yourself, what your good thoughts? They'll become good words. What your good words, they'll become good actions. What your good actions, they'll become good habits. What your good habits, they'll become good character. I've added this myself. Mobed Fariborz, okay? I don't want to defile their religion. I don't want to defile your 3 principles. What your good character, they'll become you, your destiny. So you ask yourself in everything you do, including attend this youth congress, how will you become a better person? Sir? I'm done. Okay, I am Mobed Fariborz. I finished it on time. I am available to you for any questions you want to ask me. Not here, I'll be outside. Because every time I've opened myself up to questions in a group like this, controversial questions don't need an answer that can be shared with everybody. So If you have any questions on anything, if you need the Amnavati Gatha, I have the book available or digitally. If you need how to prepare for Sedreh Pushi, I have it available. I have a ton of things, public domain, PDF files, I can give it to you. Those are all available to you. With that, thank you. I love you so much. Have a fun time at the Congress.
Please join me in thanking Mobed Fariborz one more time.
I appreciate it. Thank you.